One of my favorite book titles is Good Leaders Eat Last.
Hmm.
And it's about how some people are able to bring teams together and some people aren't. And it's very difficult to define that ability, but essentially, I think what it's all about is a genuine feeling that you put other people ahead of yourself, and when you do that, you become successful. It's all about team building. Sort of like being a diplomatic ambassador. Leaders don't necessarily have titles, and those with titles aren't necessarily leaders. And I love that one because it's so true. Um, I know back in the days of Peterson Pontiac, and I still go back into that dealership from time to time, and it's very gratifying to have some of the people that I worked with say, "You're the best boss that I ever had," and I think part of that is I never really felt like I was their boss. And I always felt like that I was surrounded by people that actually were more capable than I was. And in that scenario, when you team build like that, then you automatically become successful. And then it feels very strange when people ask you, what you did or I did to make all these things happen. And it really was a case of all I did was pull together some very capable people and I believe um, uh, help them work together towards a common goal, and we were quite successful there. Um, I've learned from looking or working with a number of great leaders, and I've been very fortunate in my life to do that. Um, there are so many, but I think of people like Al Peterson, who I worked with for several years, and that relationship started uh, as competitors. We had our little dealership out in Tofield, and he had the dealership in Sherwood Park, and those were merged or amalgamated. So then we had to bring two what were former competing teams together as one team working in the same direction. And I think we were quite successful with that. But I worked with others like Dave Hancock, for example, um, who often talked about servant leadership. And I remember when he was sworn in as premier, how he spoke at length about the importance of challengers, working with challengers, working with people that have other opinions and ideas. And um, our leader before that didn't work well in those environments, and of course, consequently, was not successful. And I have had some less than positive experiences, as I just mentioned, um, with leaders that did not put their constituents or Albertans necessarily first. And I don't believe they didn't think they were doing that, but they weren't doing that. And so I have seen unsuccessful leaders, and I think that we learn from that also.